The following is a presentation of the PAC Sports Network.
On the game clock. Dishes, jump shot. Got it. Giesler wins it at the buzzer. The St. Vincent Bearcats are the three-time defending PAC champions. Hi friends and good evening. Tonight the PAC Sports Network is proud to present the 2016 Men's Basketball Championship game. Hi, I'm Nate Rigotti, joined by my partner and good friend Matt Cole. Matt, tonight we're at the Carey Center in Latrobe, PA, where the number one seeded St. Vincent Bearcats, the three-time defending champions, are set to take on the Thomas More Saints. J.D. Leidick, John Souter with us on the production crew as well. This year, a little bit tougher for St. Vincent. The Bearcats had to grind a little bit more to get here, but they're back in the championship game.
Yes, they did, and we'll take you through the road for both of these teams through the PAC tournament this season. We'll start first with the St. Vincent Bearcats. It started here on the PAC Sports Network on Tuesday as they hosted 9th seed Chatham after their 74-64 win over the 8th seed Geneva. And St. Vincent really came out with a strong first half, out-rebounded Chatham 27-7, also shot 50% from the field en route to an 80-65 victory over the scrappy Cougars. They did come back there a little bit in the second half, but St. Vincent was able to hold on for the quarterfinal victory. On the other side for Thomas More, they hosted the 5 seed Waynesburg. And then 2 close games in the regular season, both of those games going into overtime with the home team winning in the regular season between Thomas More and Waynesburg. Thomas More hosted Waynesburg again in that quarterfinal matchup and really put it on them, a 72-56 victory over the Yellow Jackets, and really propelled them toward their run to the championship here today. And then in the semifinal matchup, it was the top-seeded St. Vincent Bearcats against the 7th-seeded Westminster Titans here on the PAC Sports Network on Thursday night. That was after Westminster pulled off an upset over the 2-seed Grove City Wolverines, 59-57. Stephen Tam hit a last-second shot in that game, but it was called back on a double dribble. So the Titans moved on and really played a great game here on Thursday, a back-and-forth battle, and it was tied up at 63 with 2 minutes left in that ball game before St. Vincent won those last 2 minutes and got the 70-65 victory to move on to the championship game here today. And then finally for Thomas More, they went on the road rather to play the 3-seed Bethany Bison and won that game 68-62. They built up a big lead. Bethany was able to come back, shorten that up, but Thomas More held on and now go up against the St. Vincent Bearcats, and they also have a rich history against these Bearcats in the PAC Championship.
This has become one of the marquee matchups of the conference over the last couple of years. That history, this is the third time in 4 years that these two teams have met in the championship game. It's the 5th straight year they've played each other in the postseason. 2012, Thomas More defeated St. Vincent in the semifinals. Then in 2013 and 2014, St. Vincent won back-to-back championships by defeating the Saints. And then last year, St. Vincent beat Thomas More in the semifinals, and now we're here back in the championship game between these two teams. During the regular season, St. Vincent had a sweep of the Saints, but it wasn't exactly easy.
Yeah, in the first meeting, St. Vincent with a 72-66 win. That was here at the Carey Center. Austin Dietert had 20 points to go along with 10 rebounds, so he had a double-double in that matchup. But also, Simon Clifford has really killed the Bearcats in both of their matchups. In the first matchup, it was 17 points and a rebound, and the next matchup, 13 points and 5 rebounds. So we have to look for him to be a contributor for the Saints. In that second meeting, it was in Kentucky, last regular season game of the year. St. Vincent sat their top 4 scorers and still won that ball game at 63-62 in Kentucky. And so that's got to be a good sign for the Bearcats and a source of confidence coming into this ball game that you were able to sit those starters and still come out with a 1-point victory on the road against this Thomas More team. But a note from that game, Ben Klimchak got hurt in that ball game, hasn't been the same through this playoff run for St. Vincent, but he's only getting healthier and healthier, and we'll see if he makes an impact tonight.
One player that's missing for Thomas More tonight will be Danny Williams, the team's second leading scorer. Williams has not played in this postseason, so Thomas More has gotten here without the guy who's averaging 14 points a game for them, so keep a close eye on that. Going back to that regular season finale, the 1-point win for St. Vincent at Thomas More, I do want to point out the freshman center standing at 6'4", junior Stockwell. Stockwell had a fantastic game in that one, and he had double figures in scoring with 11 and 10 points. 10 rebounds, had the double-double. So they're really going to have to key on him, and I think that'll be a good matchup underneath between Swartout and Austin Ford going up against people like Junior Stockwell.
Yeah, those are some big men underneath, and St. Vincent's a bigger roster, and there's not too many PAC teams that can match up with them underneath, while Thomas More is one of them. And I really like just figuring out this roster and looking it over before this game. You don't realize how young Thomas More is. I mean, they have a lot of freshman contributors. Brandon Horn averaging almost 10 points per game. Damian King, another guard, averaging over 8 points a game. Same with Ryan Callahan. These guys are all freshmen coming in here and establishing this core for Thomas More, and they're already in the PAC championship game. You have to figure they're only going to get better from here.
Yeah, you talk about how young they are. In the 2013 and 2014 championship games, there's only 2 players on this Thomas More team that got to see even one of them. There's nobody on this team from 2013, and the only 2 guys that were on the team for Thomas More that lost to St. Vincent in the 2014 championship 2 years ago are Sawyer Polley and Lewis Walker III. Walker, the only senior on the team. Getting set for opening ceremonies here from the Carey Center. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll take a more in-depth look at this matchup, and we'll give you the starting lineups. Back in a moment here for the championship game on the PAC Sports Network.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
We're here at Sport Clips, the new just for guys haircutting place, to see what the buzz is about. How was it?
Nice cut, nice price, professional stylist. Doesn't get any better than this.
There's sports on TV at every chair.
I got an awesome haircut, steam towel treatment, neck and shoulder massage. I went all the way!
What are you waiting for? Sport Clips is now in your neighborhood. At Sport Clips, guys win.
With 2 locations in Washington County, at the McMurray Shops in Peters Township and at Trinity Point in Washington.
When you are in need of fast, affordable, and professional voiceovers, contact TimeAd Productions. TimeAd Productions offers voice services for business presentations, documentary narrations, radio, television, imaging, and commercials, movie trailers, corporate phone systems, websites, audiobooks, and more. Visit or contact us online at www.timeadproductions.com.
Vincent campus is out for spring break, but a few of the Cary Crazies have stuck around inside this loud gymnasium here in Latrobe as the fans stand on their feet to greet the starting lineups here for the Bearcats. Matt, why don't you give us our starters in this game? And they're brought to you by Sport Clips.
All right, let's take a look at those starting lineups. First, for the visiting Thomas More Saints, this is 6'3" freshman guard from Louisville, Kentucky, number 3, Brandon Horn. A 5'10" freshman guard from Winchester, Kentucky, number 5, Damian King. Another freshman, 6-foot freshman guard from Moorhead, Kentucky, number 10, Ryan Callahan. A 6-foot junior guard, number 12, from Crescent Springs, Kentucky, that's Sawyer Pauley. And then finally, the Louisville, Kentucky native and the junior 6'6" forward/center, and that's Simon Clifford for the Thomas More Saints. And on the other side for the St. Vincent Bearcats, seniors all over the place. 6'3" senior guard, number 4, Pat Jones. 6'2" senior guard. And from Pittsburgh, PA, J.C. Howard. 5'11" senior guard, number 11, Jalen Bell. 6'6" sophomore forward from Plum, Austin Dietert. And then the Bluebell, Pennsylvania native, the 6'7" junior forward, number 32, Austin Ford.
St. Vincent, the number 1 seed, 21-6 overall in the regular season, 15-3 in conference action. Thomas More, the number 4 seed, 17-10 this year, 12-6 in PAC play. We get set for the opening tip-off. The Bearcats in the white jerseys, Bearcats across the chest with the dark green numerals highlighted by the yellow, and Thomas More in their bright blue jerseys and white accent. The championship game. The tip-off. We're underway. Thomas More gets it to start things off. Thomas More, the number 1 offense this season in conference action. The Saints averaging 78 points a game. Shot no good from the right wing. Rebound bounces around and into the hands of Austin Ford. Here come the Bearcats the other way. Jones in the paint. Fadeaway jumper off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Sawyer Pauley.
It seemed like both teams really wanted to get that quick basket to start off this ball game, but 2 missed shots.
Damian King, top of the key, picks up the dribble, has to get rid of it here. He does to Pauley. Pauley right side, hands it off to Horn. Horn guarded by Bell. Bell, the second best stealer this year in the conference. Baseline drive there by Pauley, though, and the Saints are on the board.
Sawyer Pauley, the junior, averaging just under 7 points per game, gets things started for Thomas More.
Little press here. Bell takes it himself right side. Nifty move to get the basket.
And we've mentioned this so many times. That's how Jalen Bell kills you with his speed. Goes right to the hoop. Aggressive.
Now an errant pass. Too far ahead for Horn. Ryan Callahan, the guilty party there. St. Vincent the other way. Bell drives in. Reverse scoop. Doesn't go, but a putback there for Austin Ford. 4-2 St. Vincent. Bearcats led by D.P. Harris in his 13th year at St. Vincent. Thomas More led by Drew Cooper, just his 3rd year. Lost in the championship game his very first year at Thomas More. Pauley harassed on the far side, out of bounds, stays with Thomas More. 10 seconds on the shot clock here.
And D.P. Harris has accrued a 258 and 103 record in his 13 years at St. Vincent. Also the 2014 Coach of the Year.
Bad pass goes out of bounds. That one intended for Simon Clifford, but it was too hard and far above his head.
And on the other side, Drew Cooper, just his 3rd season at Thomas More, a 49 and 32 record, also 5-2 in the playoffs.
Bell gets it to Jones. Jones wide open. He waited too long, couldn't pull the trigger, and the pass is batted away inside the paint. Saints get the steal. Thomas More coming the other way. King swings it left side. Pauley gives it to Horn. Horn back to Pauley. A lot of passing. Thomas More is not afraid to wait for a good shot. Good block in there, though, by Austin Dietert.
Great clean block by Dietert.
Bell floater through the paint, no good, and a foul call on the rebound. Austin Ford tried to tip it away. And he is the guilty party. He will be charged with his first foul of the entire game.
And that might be the difference as we move along in this game, as Thomas More doesn't block a whole lot of shots, came in last in the PAC, while St. Vincent stands at third with just over 4 blocks per game.
J.C. Howard gets it inside to Ford. He takes it to the basket, rolls around the rim, put back shot on his own. He stumbled after the fact, but he's able to make the shot and gives St. Vincent the 6-2 lead.
Austin Ford has come out with a great effort in this ball game so far, getting all of those loose rebounds underneath and getting the putbacks.
Clifford goes to Horn. Horn shot too hard off the glass. Howard, right wing for St. Vincent. Dieter swings it left side. Bell. Bell looking for somewhere to go, finds a screen, now pulls up a jumper from the left elbow, off the rim, Ford there, offensive rebound and putback. He has 6 points already in the opening 3.5 minutes of the game.
And he's too much underneath right now for Thomas More, and St. Vincent has gotten out to the edge and rebounding at 6-1.
Thomas More thus far has done a good job of breaking the St. Vincent press. Drew Cooper likes to preach a patient offense, but I really haven't seen that so far. Now a long three-point shot is good from the top of the key by Damian King. 8-5.
And King loves to shoot it from outside, 45% coming into tonight.
Bell sets up the offense, brings it to the near side, uses a screen, now takes it back. Left side is Jones. Jones drives in, runner in the paint off the back of the iron. Pauly pulls down the rebound. King the other way. Inside Clifford. Pauly for three, left wing. That one no good, rebounded by Jones. Jones not wasting any time, but doesn't have the numbers, has to pull it up. Gives it to Dieter along the baseline, spin move around the defender to get that basket. He was jumping wide open on the baseline, saying, hey, pass it to me, and he just used that nifty footwork to get open and make the basket.
And it's been the big men making the difference for St. Vincent through these first couple minutes. Austin Dieter at 6'6", Austin Ford at 6'7". The size is killing Thomas More.
Clifford hesitates, gets trapped, kicks it out to Pauly. Damian King now. Back to Pauly, bounce pass stolen away there by Dieter. J.C. Howard with it. Ford. Pat Jones gives it to Jalen Bell, who will run the offense. Now it's J.C. Howard directing traffic, a 1,000-point scorer for the Bearcats. Puts up a three-point shot. That one's no good. Rebounded by Pauly. 10-5 the score, opening 5 minutes. The winner of this game will receive the conference's automatic bid to the Division III tournament. And Ryan Callahan makes a three. 10-8 the score.
Yeah, an impressive three at that. As he had J.C. Howard right in his face, hand in his face, still nailed it. 46% on the year from three land.
Jalen Bell, leading scorer on this team, finished 4th in the conference in the regular season. In the scoring category, J.C. Howard on the far side. Now shot is good there, nothing but net. 12-8. As Howard gets on the board.
We mentioned what a steady force he's been for the St. Vincent program throughout his years. He's also a senior, averaging over 10 points a game this season.
Sawyer Pauly wide open, can't make it. And Austin Ford hauls in the rebound. You have to make those kind of looks wide open.
Wide open.
Had plenty of time. Feed inside to Dieter. He's triple teamed, but still makes the bucket. 14-8 in this championship game. A bunch of subs sit along the sidelines in front of the scorer's table ready to check in. King, left side, Horn, into the paint to Pauly. Bounce pass to Clifford. He hesitates, makes the reverse shot.
And they would love to get him going as well, averaging over 14 points per game. Simon Clifford, he's the go-to man for Thomas More.
Bell gets it across the timeline, guarded by King. Gets it out to J.C. Howard, wide open. Pat Jones in the left wing for three, count it.
Great ball movement by St. Vincent on that possession. Just moving it around the perimeter with a wide open shot for Pat Jones. He's not going to miss too many of those.
St. Vincent shooting really well here in the early going. As a team, shoot 45%, second only in the conference to Thomas More, who shoots 46. Shot on the right wing, off the rim. Callahan's attempt won't go. St. Vincent gets the rebound. Bell into the paint. Kicks it out to the corner to Jones again for three. This one no good. Rebound on the far side. Goes out of bounds off the hands of Jones. He slid a little bit. And we'll have a bunch of subs check in here. Sword out. Sinwell, Klimchuk, and a timeout on the floor. 12 and a half minutes to go in the first half. St. Vincent 17, Thomas More 10. Back in a moment on the PAC Sports Network.
So who do you think you are? Walk through these gates and you'll find out. It'll take, 4 years. 4 years of rigorous academics, of grand tradition, citizenship, of making friends for life, and let's not forget, having fun. While you're doing all this, we have a job too, to ensure your success. And make no mistake, we're good at it. Welcome to Bethany, a small college of national distinction.
Now, fully co-ed, Chatham University offers over 40 majors in the health sciences, sustainability, business, and the arts and sciences. Qualified undergraduates can also be admitted into our integrated undergraduate and graduate programs in physical and occupational therapy, physician assistant studies, and more. Live on our historic Shadyside campus or our Eden Hall campus, the first in the world built for the study of sustainability. Strong academics, Division III men's and women's sports, one-of-a-kind campus locations. Chatham.edu.
Men's basketball, one of the few sports that Thomas More has not been able to dominate in this conference, has only one men's basketball championship, and that's from 2009. Meanwhile, St. Vincent chasing its fourth consecutive championship title.
And Nate, you mentioned just the one championship, but Thomas More has been here 5 times already.
Under 3 different head coaches. Drew Cooper, Jeff Rogers, who left a couple of years ago, blocked in there by Swartout. 11 seconds on the shot clock. John Ellenwood, the other coach for Thomas More, to get into the conference championship game. King needs a timeout. He gets it. DP Harris, one of the 5-second call, but timeout on the floor. We'll step aside too. 17-10. St. Vincent leads Thomas More. Back in a moment on the PAC Sports Network.
Whether you're a traditional college-bound student, busy adult, or an advanced degree seeker, Geneva College offers degree programs tailored to your professional goals and personal commitments. Online or on campus, you'll enjoy personalized attention and a supportive Christian community of inspiring scholarship. Complete your degree in business, engineering, education, counseling, or one of 50 other programs. Geneva College. Step forward, leap ahead. Head to geneva.edu to get started.
Out of the timeout, Thomas More will have to inbound here, trailing 7 points in the opening half of this championship game. King again will be the one to pull the trigger. Does. Gets it inside. Quick jump shot. Good there from Austin Young.
And a much better inbound play off the timeout for Thomas More. He's able to find Austin Young for the quick shot.
Austin Young on the board for the first time. Howard kicks it out to Swartout. Takes a long 2-point jumper. Good.
He's the jack of all trades. Bobby Swartout, the senior forward. He can shoot and he can play inside. He is a big body underneath and get plenty of rebounds.
Transferred in from Cal U, Division II school. Just up 119 in Route 70 here in Western PA. Horn. King for 3. Off the mark. Rebounded by Young, though. He has it poked away by Sinwell. Ben Klimchuk comes the other way. Inside to Jones. Takes it to the basket.
And good to see Ben Klimchuk being able to run down the court. That's a good sign for St. Vincent. Looks like that foot injury has really healed up in the last couple days.
Klimchuk got banged up against Thomas More in the regular season finale. Young for 3. Right side, good. Nothing but net for Austin Young.
St. Vincent continues to leave these Thomas More shooters open from the outside. That's going to kill them if they keep doing that. Number 1 team in the PAC in 3-point shooting coming in were the Saints.
Back to Klimchuk. He sat out Tuesday night, played limited minutes in the semifinals on Thursday, but He's getting a decent time here. Sword out, but shot won't count. Offensive foul called against the Bearcats. One charged against Pat Jones underneath, who pushed away to get that defender off and Sword out.
And it's been a pretty clean game up to this point. It's about midway through this first half, and that was just the first team foul for St. Vincent. Thomas More only has one on the other side.
10.5 minutes to go in the opening frame. Michael Griffin to Damian King. Stockwell bounce pass. Horn drives and he's blocked. Had defenders all over him. Sinwell comes the other way for St. Vincent. Klimchuk inside to Sword out. Here's the matchup I've been waiting for. Sword out against Stockwell. He gets it in the corner though to Sinwell for three. Doesn't go. Rebounded by King. Looks ahead to Griffin. Leaves it for Young. Long three-point shot, just a little bit short off the rim. St. Vincent brings it back.
And that was a longer look by Young, but it was open and he had the confidence to take it.
I think he was so open that he rushed it a little bit. Now a foul called inside, away from the ball. A block called against Matt D'Amico, sophomore on this called against Klimchuk. Ben Klimchuk, a senior on the team. A lot of seniors on this St. Vincent team, but only a couple of them have been here the whole way. Many of them have transferred in. Kyle Rivera, Pat Jones, J.C. Howard, Dan Sinwell, and Ben Klimchuk have been a part of the 3 previous championship titles. There are several seniors on this St. Vincent team that have been honored and have used their eligibility but transferred in, including guys like Jalen Bell and Bobby Swartout. Now a foul away from the ball once again. This one will go against Swartout. He and Junior Stockwell were going at it in the paint. 21-15, St. Vincent in control. Off the inbound, Griffin. Goes back to Jacob Hall. He goes back to Griffin. Now Young hands it off. Jacob Hall, just a sophomore. Five seconds on the shot clock. Thomas More has to do something here. Griffin open from the left wing, nothing but net. And that is exactly what Drew Cooper wants to see from this team. This is a squad that will pass up open shots. They'll pass up good shots for great shots. And that is the mentality of Drew Cooper. And you see it right there. The Saints aren't afraid to use the shot clock to get an open look. Now Ben Klimchuk tries to answer from deep range. Comes all the way out to Griffin.
And no need to rush for Thomas More. They are very comfortable in that half-court offense and just setting up shots, like you said, Nate. And there's probably a reason why they are the top shooting team in the PAC, because they're able to do that well.
Stockwell gets one over the head of Swartout. Stockwell on the board for the first time. And now Thomas More is back within a point.
And you mentioned Stockwell. He's got a bright future ahead of him. Just a freshman at 6'4". Already making an impact.
Bell, top of the key. Great ball movement, but whistle stops play. Under 8 minutes to go in this first half. And a foul called against Thomas More, offensively against Jacob Hall. Dietert, Ford, Simmons, Jones all in the game now. Jalen Bell uses the screen, takes the three, no good, and a foul called on the rebound. Mike Simmons was going at it and just got pushed over there by Michael Griffin. Griffin trying to box out, and he'll get called for a foul.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what Griffin was thinking on that when he had his back against the hoop and just really took him all the way to the floor right in front of the official. I don't know if his hands got tied up or what exactly happened.
DiPieres comes all the way across half court to get a timeout called. Under 8 minutes to play in the first half. St. Vincent up a point. Back in a moment on the PAC Sports Network.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
Bearcats ball out of the timeout. Simmons inbounds, baseline left. Gets it to Jones. Out to Austin Ford beyond the perimeter and gives it to Jalen Bell. Bell drives in, leaves it for Ford underneath. He has to spin around the baseline, and a foul called. A push against Thomas More. Ford lost his balance along the baseline, trying to keep his feet inside the line.
And that's going against Jacob Hall again for Thomas More. That'll be his second. And he was frustrated by that call, and he'll head to the bench.
Officials not afraid to blow the whistle in this one, calling this game tightly. Inbound to Jones, fresh shot clock for the Bearcats. Bell gives it to Dietert, around to Jones. Jones takes a jumper, long range, wide right. King comes the other way. Young to Pauly, back to Damian King. King averages 8 points a game for this Thomas More squad. Now he gets an open lane floater, can't get it over top of Ford though. Rebound goes out of bounds, last touch by Stockwell. Seven minutes on the clock. Opening half.
You mentioned how the rebound category was dominated by St. Vincent in those first 2 minutes. It's evened out a little bit now as we stand here with 7 minutes left to go. 13-9 now, St. Vincent with the slight edge underneath.
Bell all the way down to Dietert, kicks it out to Jones. Could have pulled the trigger but didn't. He was wide open, but the Bearcats will set up the offense now. Bell on the right wing, drives in the paint, takes it to himself. The scoop shot doesn't go. Damian King up the other way for the Saints.
And that goes in 9 out of 10 times for Jalen Bell.
Yeah, that's not an easy shot, but he's able to do it just the way he released it. Didn't work. Stockwell, reverse scoop, good around Dietert. The big guy getting fancy. Stockwell now with 4 points.
And that takes some confidence to attempt that shot underneath from Stockwell.
Howard on the left wing. And now another foul called away from the ball. This is the fifth one in this game that's an off-ball foul.
It's a lot of contact, a lot of body positioning going on underneath.
Timeout on the floor, under 6 minutes to go in the opening half. Thomas More with its first lead, 22-21 over St. Vincent. Back with this championship game in just a moment on the PAC Sports Network.
We're here at Sport Clips, the new just for guys haircutting place, to see what the buzz is about. How was it?
Nice cut, nice price, professional stylist. Doesn't get any better than this.
There's sports on TV at every chair.
I got an awesome haircut, steam towel treatment, neck and shoulder massage. I went all the way!
What are you waiting for? Sport Clips is now in your neighborhood. At Sport Clips, guys win.
With 2 locations in Washington County, at the McMurray Shops in Peters Township and at Trinity Point in Washington.
When you are in need of fast, affordable, and professional voiceovers, contact TimeAd Productions. TimeAd Productions offers voice services for business presentations, documentary narrations, radio, television, imaging, and commercials, movie trailers, corporate phone systems, websites, audiobooks, and more. Visit or contact us online at www.timeadproductions.com.
Out of the media timeout. Ford with it in the paint. Tries to get it across to Sinwell, but it's poked away. 3 lead changes in this game already. I misspoke going into the break. Thomas More has its second lead. The Saints led 2-0 at the beginning of the game. The regular season finale between these two teams, that 1-point win for St. Vincent, saw 10 lead changes. Pauly drives in, he's fouled as he goes to the basket. He'll shoot 2. First free throws in this game don't come until we're almost 15 minutes into it.
And Thomas More has really got St. Vincent playing on their heels right now, as that's the second on Bobby Swartout. And Sawyer Pauly heads to the line, 77% on the season.
Misses the first one, however. Pauly, a junior, out of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, graduated from Covington Catholic High School.
Also loves to take care of the ball. Came in 8th in the conference in assist-to-turnover ratio.
Sawyer chance ring out. He misses them both. Maybe a little flustered there. Thomas More still up 22-21.
Thomas More as a team is the top free throw shooting team in the conference.
Bell gives it to Howard. Howard, top of the key. Now to Jones. Swartout, the big guy for 3. Count it. He's not afraid to put him up, and he makes that one.
And what can't this man do? He can shoot the mid-range jumper. He can shoot from outside. He can grab rebounds. He's a do-it-all player.
Swartout, a local Southwestern PA guy, graduated from Butler Area High School. Horn takes it to the basket. His shot goes off the side of the backboard. J.C. Howard coming up the other way. Nearly loses it, now gets it to Jones. Jones, Swartout again, top of the key. Kicks it out to Howard for 3. Off the mark, too hard. Rebounded there by Griffin. Back come the Saints. Griffin, wide open, left wing for 3. In and out. Sinwell, the only guy there for the rebound. St. Vincent back up 24-22. St. Vincent being very deliberate with this offense. Bell kicks it out to Jones. Gives it to Sinwell. Sinwell takes a 3 off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Pauly. Now a foul comes in. This one will be against the Bearcats. J.C. Howard trying to tie it up. So was Dan Sinwell. The foul is called against Howard. J.C. picks up his first of the game.
In the early goings, both of these teams not afraid to shoot it from beyond the arc. 11 attempts for Thomas More, making 4 of those, and 9 on the other side for St. Vincent, making 2.
Under 4 minutes to go in this half. Stolen away there, Bell. Pat Jones off to the races, easily slams it home. Send it in, Pat Jones. And that will get this crowd fired up. Saw a couple of big dunks against the Saints, or against the Bearcats on Thursday night in the semifinals. Clifford, bounce pass into Horn. Too hard off the glass. That's just good defense there by Jones. He was all over him. St. Vincent the other way. Bell left wing. He drives in, gets around the defender, uses the Euro step to get to the basket, and Drew Cooper needs a timeout. 3 minutes on the clock in the first half. St. Vincent 28, Thomas More 22. Back in a moment on the PAC Sports Network.
Faith and freedom are far-reaching matters for us. The freedom to pursue a calling in life, and the faith that it will make a big difference. The freedom to use the value of an education to pay it forward, and a Christian faith to make it count. At Grove City College, faith and freedom create opportunities. And that's why faith and freedom matter.
St. Vincent has used a 7-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes to now regain the lead 28-22. Matt, you just said it during the break. It's a game of runs.
Absolutely. St. Vincent did have the lead at 21-15, a 6-point lead. Then Thomas More came back to make it 22-21. But now St. Vincent, like as you said, a 7-0 run to take back the lead again.
Saints with the ball. King top of the key. Bounce pass along the baseline to Clifford. Gets it back out. Now here's King for three. In and out. Took a whole tour of the rim and popped out. Now up the floor to Jones. He's able to get that ball, and he goes to the basket and it falls in. He caught that one like a wide receiver.
And what an impressive play in transition by St. Vincent. And now it's 9 points on the night for Pat Jones, the senior.
8-point advantage for St. Vincent. Shooting has been cold here for Thomas More. The Saints have gotten a couple of looks but can't get the shots to fall now. Pauly, bounce pass to Clifford. He drives in, little hesitation. He misses the reverse shot though. Stay tuned at halftime. We will have an interview with President's Athletic Conference Commissioner Joe Onderko. Be glad to talk to the commissioner. Joe's just been fantastic for the PAC. As long as I've been involved with this conference, he's been the head, and he's done a phenomenal job. In fact, I just see him get off the bleachers here and then hear son start to head up so he can talk to us during the halftime break. Bell misses his first one. These are the first free throws attempt of the game for St. Vincent.
That foul going against Sawyer Pauly, his first.
Bell misses them both.
We haven't had a made free throw to this point. Both teams missing both shots.
Yeah, St. Vincent 0 for 2, as is Thomas More. Under 2 minutes to play in the opening frame. Floating pass inside to Clifford. He's fouled. Bell came in and bumped the body in the air, so Jalen Bell will pick up his first foul. Bell, one of the seniors on this team, transferred in from St. Leo University. Played a little bit at St. Leo his freshman and sophomore campaigns, but then came to St. Vincent and became a starter right away. Clifford makes the first free throw that either team has made.
And really a perfect entry pass over the top by Ryan Callahan. You don't see that too often on the men's side of things, but getting that right over the top of the defender into Clifford.
Clifford's second shot is good. That breaks up the run by St. Vincent. It was 9-0, but the Bearcats can still pour it on. Jalen Bell slows things down for the Bearcats, uses a screen, gets into the paint, takes it to the basket himself, right lane, and an offensive foul called against the Bearcats. Now the referees will have a discussion here. They will keep the foul against St. Vincent. Well, maybe. Talk to each other
Still
a little
not
bit
sure.
more. Offensive foul.
And that'll be Jalen Bell's second.
It'll be Thomas Moore's ball after the foul. Under a minute and a half remaining in the first half. St. Vincent applying the full court press. Bearcats do that so well. Thomas More breaks it. Not an aggressive press there from St. Vincent. Callahan to King. Bounce pass to Pauly, back to King. 10 seconds on the shot clock. A lot of passing there and then a foul. J.C. Howard was coming up to defend Callahan, and Callahan changed directions on him. A block against J.C. Howard. That is the 8th team foul of the half against St. Vincent. Under a minute to play. Ryan Callahan goes to the line to shoot 1-1.
And J.C. Howard just coming over a little bit too late defensively up top. And as you mentioned, Callahan trying to go to the hoop. 60% free throw shooter on the year is Ryan Callahan.
First end is good. He now has 4 points for Thomas More. He'll have a second shot here Callahan, a freshman from Moorhead, Kentucky. Second one good as well. Saints back within 4. They've trailed by as many as 8 in the last 2 minutes. Klimchak, one-handed pass to Howard. Now Austin Ford top of the key, back to Howard. Howard drives in the paint, kick it out to Jones. Jones comes in, now gives it to Sinwell along the perimeter. 5 on the shot clock. Klimchak for 3, off the mark and out of bounds. Thomas More gets the ball back here. A 2-second difference in the game clock and the shot clock.
And that's Ben Klimchak's game from outside. It was a fairly long three-point attempt, but I'm sure he feels comfortable shooting that and has done so in the past and made those especially wide open looks like that one.
30-26 the score. St. Vincent in control. King, right side to Young. Back to Damian King. Swings it to the near side. Callahan picks up the dribble, gives it back to King, swings it right side. 3 seconds on the shot clock. King takes it in himself, leaves it short, and a foul called on the rebound as time expires. Simon Clifford went in there to try to swat that ball away, and there was a lot of contact, and Simon Clifford will be called for the foul. Clifford picks up his second in this game, and that will put St. Vincent at the free throw line to shoot 1-1.
And that's a big call here at the end of this first half. A chance for more points for St. Vincent, and head coach Drew Cooper is upset over there on the Thomas More sideline.
So referees now with a second discussion. They're going to have to put time back on the clock. Cooper still pleading his case on the sideline.
Meanwhile, Austin Ford at the line, and not his strong suit on the season, just 54%, but he's had a big 6 points in this first half.
They did put a half second on the clock. Ford makes the first one. He gets the bonus shot. Again, stay tuned at the half. We'll have an interview with President's Athletic Conference Commissioner Joe Onderko. Second shot, no good, and that will end the first half with a score. St. Vincent 31, Thomas More 26. It's halftime here at the Carey Center. We'll talk to Joe Onderko after this break.
For nearly 150 years, Teal College has provided a high-quality liberal arts education with excellent career preparation to students across the country and world. If you're looking for the right combination of academic challenge, personal involvement, and exceptional value, then it's time to discover the Teal difference. To learn more about a Teal College education, visit www.teal.edu and follow us at Teal College. Join the conversation using the hashtag TealDifference.
Here at the half, St. Vincent leading Thomas More 31-26 in this PAC Men's Basketball Championship. It is halftime, and glad to be joined by the conference's commissioner, Joe Onderko. Joe, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, Nate. Thanks for being here. Great game, great night here at St. Vincent.
This is a lot of fun, and appreciate you talking to us. I want to get your feelings on the conference this year. We said it all year long. It was kind of a toss-up. It's been very, very competitive the whole way through.
It's been a tremendous year for men's basketball. You know, it kind of had a little different feel because we had 3 new coaches to start the year. You know, you had Nick Hager coming in at Bethany and Ethan Stewart-Smith at W&J, but then also a brand new team at Chatham. And, Andrew Garcia, I don't think you can say enough about the job he's done starting that program, getting some wins and being competitive in just about every game. But, I mean, the theme with the PAC this year, I think, St. Vincent has been one most of the year. But, once you get past them, I said for a while that 2 versus 6, there's not very much difference there. And I think, Westminster proved this week, you can probably say 2 through 7, there wasn't a whole lot of difference. So it makes it fun because every game is a battle. Every game they're getting after each other. And the parity, gives every team a chance to feel like, hey, we've got a shot if we get hot here at the end of the year.
It's been a lot of fun to cover throughout the year. What was it like for you for the conference with the addition of Chatham adding men's sports?
From a basketball standpoint, the change was very minimal. We schedule everything in doubleheaders anyway. So, in the old days when you played Chatham, well, your men just had the night off at that point. Well, now they don't. So from that standpoint, it's minimal. I think some other sports, there are some challenges. They're trying to get a baseball program off the ground, which is really, really challenging. And so they're still looking at that. Other sports, things like swimming and diving, cross country, those are pretty seamless. So I'd say it varies. We're really fortunate. Leonard Trevino, the new AD at Chatham, is a guy who's lived through this before at Goucher when he was a coach. They went from single gender to co-ed. So he gets, what needs to happen, has a great vision for the department. And I think in 5 years, they're going to be in a really good place.
Talking with Commissioner Joe Onderko here on the PAC Sports Network. Are there any more plans to add to anybody else? We've gotten Case Western and Carnegie Mellon on the football side. Now Chatham with men's. Right. It's been a lot of fun, but I'm sure it's a little hectic for you too.
We're fortunate. We're in a good place, Nate. We don't need to expand at all. I think the addition of Chatham going co-ed, and as you said, Carnegie Mellon and Case on the football side have been wonderful additions the last 2 years. I never say never. I've learned that in this business. This is my 10th year doing this. I can't believe that's the case. But, we're not at a point like we were 15 years ago where like, hey, we've got to be in active expansion mode. We've got to get out and we've got to grow this conference. And, we're in a really good spot. At the same time, if somebody called us that we felt was a fit that brought value to the PAC, are we going to talk? Absolutely we would. But barring that, no, I think we're pretty comfortable with where we are.
Credit to you for what you've done over the last several years. Now, how long have you been with the conference?
Yeah, this is 10th year full-time. I had worked for 5 years part-time before that just as an information director, so I've been with the league 15 total. And, it's rewarding to see where we're at compared to where we were. You obviously weren't around 15 years ago, but I don't even want to know what age you were 15 years ago. But, I remember when this conference was 6 schools, and we weren't sure where number 7 was going to come from. And now, we've got 10 full members, 2 affiliate members. We've increased from 19 sports to, once we bring lacrosse in-house to be 23. The addition of the affiliates. All in all, we're just in a much better place. I think our sports are extremely competitive. It's a credit, obviously to our athletic directors, our coaches, but the biggest credit, Nate, we've got to give to our college presidents. They are so actively involved in oversight of athletics in this league and give such tremendous leadership. That's why we are the President's Athletic Conference, and not to, defer credit, but that's really where most of the credit belongs, to that group.
What's been your biggest challenge over the last decade?
Well, that's a tough question. I think just early on, just getting everybody to buy into the vision of what this league could be. I think we're there now, if you understand what I mean. But this is a league that, quite frankly, had been kicked down a little bit. That I won't say some of the acronyms that were out there, but they weren't positive. If you understand what I mean, there was kind of a negative self-perception, and I think it's actually easier to change an external perception than it is an internal perception sometimes. Now we've been able to do that. We've been very fortunate, but that was a challenge at first. You don't want people when something goes wrong to say, oh, it's the same old PAC. You understand what I mean? And people don't say that anymore. Now they expect things to be done first class and professional. And, so from that standpoint, I think we're very fortunate.
For you, over the last couple of years, we've only had 3 teams in wrestling.
Yes.
Any chance that's going to expand?
Oh, it is. I can make it official. Thomas More has announced the addition of varsity wrestling in the 2016-17 academic year, which is tremendous. It's a sport I have a soft spot in my heart for, not just because I grew up in a wrestling community, but any sport that has history that dates to the founding of this conference. I mean, to me, is special. And I think there's so much history and tradition. You want to hang on to that, and you want to grow that. And so, yeah, I think adding a fourth team, we're going to probably meet with our coaches in the next month or so and see what they want to do about the championship format, because obviously we're going to have to do things different next year. But I think it's absolutely a very positive development.
Talking about championship format, what went into keeping the men with just adding another play-in game instead of doing what the women do and just eliminate?
That's a great question, and it's one I get quite a bit. Why are the formats different? And the short answer to it is the coaches groups want different things. You know, to the men, it is extremely important, a couple of things. One, that everybody has a chance, no matter, you know, even if you have a tough year like a couple schools do, hey, if you get hot at the end, you can make a run. And 2 years ago, we had a 9 seed beat a 1 seed. So, you know, that's important. And also what's important is that, you know, if you have, you know, if you've earned a home court, you should have it. For the women, I think it's a little different. I think, one, you know, they only want the top 8, but they really like that Final Four at one site, you know, to kind of have a festival atmosphere. Everyone's there. We announced the all-conference teams between semifinal games last night. So, you know, and to this point, our ADs have been okay with that. You know, they understand, you know, the arguments of both, and quite frankly, I think both of them have their merits and can work well.
Women's championship game tonight.
Yes.
W&J and Thomas More.
Right.
What was your personal experience like being the conference commissioner and having a team from the PAC win a national championship?
It was a little surreal, I'll be honest with you. The PAC only had one team national championship before that. It was Bethany men's soccer. I don't know if you knew that. 1994. Yeah. So it's the first women's team championship. You know, Kevin and I were sitting up in Grand Rapids, and we were both kind of, you know, is this really happening kind of thing. But, I mean, that brought us so much credibility on a national level. Not just that they won, but just how they won. I mean, they were just so dominant throughout the postseason last year. That gets back to what I was saying about external perception. But, yeah, I mean, for us to be able to be there, to be a part of that, and to see, you know, how special that was for everyone involved in that program, you know, that's something we're not going to soon forget.
Talking with Conference Commissioner Joe Ondurko, I think you got a chance to get back there too, don't you think?
I think they will, yeah. And this year it's going to be, if they can make a run, the women's basketball is doing what the men did a few years ago and having all 3 divisions finals at the same site. So the D3 women's basketball final will be April 4th in Indianapolis, tied in with the D1 and the D2 championships. So, yeah, that could be a really special event.
It's had to be great publicity. Talk about external perception for the conference.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be televised. I mean, you know, all the things that went with it. The men did it down in Atlanta about 3-4 years ago. It's tough to do all the time because logistically the schedules just don't line up. You know, I mean, inevitably you're going to have 2 teams. They're going to have to wait a couple of weeks to play a championship, which is not ideal. But, I mean, for the exposure you get and to be tied in with a festival like that, I do think to do it on special occasions is very positive.
Joe, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
You got it, Nate. Hey, let me just say real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, on behalf of the whole PAC, thanks to you guys for just another outstanding year of coverage of PAC basketball. You know, I know Randy Gore's at the head, and I know he's got another game tonight. But you know, the professionalism, the preparation that you guys bring. Please know everyone in the conference appreciates it a great deal. So thank you for your great work this year.
No, thank you. You know, we enjoy doing this. I know this is just because we're passionate about it. And we love what the conference brings. You know, I talk to some of my friends that play PAC schools in non-conference action in the beginning of the season, and they're just always very appreciative of what goes on in this conference and the competition that they bring. So that's credit to you and what you've been able to do.
Well, thank you for your contributions. It's a great conference we have here, and we're proud to have you be a part of it.
Thanks,
so thank you.
Thanks for joining me.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Joe Ondurko with the President's Athletic Conference, the conference commissioner. Just a couple of minutes here before we get back to second half action in this championship game. St. Vincent leading Thomas More 31-26. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll recap the first half here on the PAC Sports Network.
I'm Joe Ondurko, Commissioner of the President's Athletic Conference. Want to know what makes the PAC so special? Here's a few reasons why.
Comprised of 10 private institutions and 2 affiliate members, the PAC remains unique in this era of high-pressure college athletics. Academics remains at the core of every program, with athletics integrated into the overall educational experience. Now sponsoring 21 sports, the PAC is regarded as one of the elite NCAA Division III conferences in the nation. Our student athletes excel in athletics as well as the classroom, with numerous postgraduate scholarship winners, over 150 academic All-Americans, and over 900 academic honor roll recipients with a 3.6 GPA or higher in the past year alone. Want to learn more? Visit us at www.pacathletics.org or follow us on social media.
Comprised of 10 private institutions and 2 affiliate members, the President's Athletic Conference remains unique in this era of high-pressure college athletics. As a charter member of NCAA Division III, PAC student athletes excel in 21 varsity sports as well as the classroom.
Academic and athletic excellence since 1955. The President's Athletic Conference.
Want to learn more? Visit us at www.pacathletics.org or follow us on social media.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge, I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
A competitive first half that saw 4 lead changes. Thomas More led 2-0 and then 22-21, but St. Vincent stormed back in the end of that first half. The Bearcats have a 31-26 halftime lead. And just looking at the stats, Matt, this one's pretty even.
It is, and St. Vincent actually shooting just a little bit better from the field from Thomas More. St. Vincent 14 of 30 in that first half. That's about 46%. On the other side for Thomas More, 9 of 26, just over 34%. From beyond the arc, Thomas More attempted plenty of those, 4 of 12 in that first half, good for 33%. On the other side for St. Vincent, just 2 of 10 and 20%. Free throws, 4 for 6 for Thomas More, 1 for 4 for St. Vincent, and then rebounding underneath. St. Vincent has the edge after the first half of play at 21-15, so no real discrepancies in the stats, just St. Vincent playing a little bit tighter of a game in that first half, and that's why they have this lead as we head into the second.
Head coach of Thomas More, Drew Cooper, likes to talk about moments, small moments that win ball games, and this has been a game of runs. So Thomas More trailing, going on a 7-0 run to regain the lead, then St. Vincent going on a 9-0 run to retake the lead for themselves, and really ran away with it, but then Thomas More battled back into it. Just a 5-point game here at the break.
And that's to be expected from 2 teams that have really played well in this PAC tournament to get to this point. I mean, there's a reason why these 2 teams are battling it out for the championship here tonight, and no team is going to go away easy, and we should have a great game on our hands all the way until the final whistle.
St. Vincent gets the ball to begin the second half. Leading scorer in that first half, Pat Jones with 9 points. Inside Austin Ford. Now J.C. Howard for 3. No good. Rebounded by King. King. Callahan with it on the near side. Callahan one-on-one with Howard. Picks up the dribble. Gets it in to a cutter. That's King, and he'll bring it back out and direct traffic. Now he goes one-on-one with Jones in the basket, and a big block there by Austin Diedert. Beautiful play. He came in from the left block across the paint and got that big arm up in the path of the basketball.
And that's the second significant block for Austin Diedert in this ball game.
10 seconds on the shot clock for the Saints. King along the baseline, bounce pass inside to Horn. His shot doesn't go, gets his own rebound. They got a fresh shot clock. Callahan's shot from the paint, good. 7 points for the freshman. Thomas More back within 3. Glad to have you along here on the PAC Sports Network. Streaming basketball all season long at PACstream.net. You can check out the website for our player of the game interviews. Now Jones with a fadeaway makes the shot. He's in double digits.
And leading all scorers with those 11 points now, Pat Jones.
Cross half court. Horn picks up the dribble, gives it to King. King runs the offense. Pauly, right wing.
Thomas More just so content with keeping that ball to the outside and trying for those open looks.
Callahan takes it. High off the glass, no good. Ford trying to get the rebound, a foul called. This one will go against Thomas More. Clifford battling underneath with the big four.
And Simon Clifford's got to watch out now. That's his third personal, and he heads to the bench. And that is a big player coming out for the Saints. Coming in averaging over 14 points per game. He's the leading scorer for this Thomas More team.
Want to give a shout out to the assistant commissioner, Kevin Fenstermacher, with the conference, who's not participated in the postseason for the conference, has some personal stuff. Just want to say hello to Kevin at home.
And Nate, the departure of Simon Clifford also is coupled by Daniel Williams being out of this game with an injury. He was the second leading scorer for Thomas More this season.
Pat Jones, long range two, use a little head fake, step to the right, and makes the shot.
Boy, has he been so consistent in this ball game. Had 9 points in that first half, already has 4 in the second. And what a career he's had here at St. Vincent as well.
35-28. I can remember when he didn't even play. He sat the bench his freshman season. Sophomore year, came off the bench a couple of times, but man, he just exploded a year ago as a junior, and he's just continued that success this year. At the end of the shot clock, Stockwell foul.
It's pretty impressive that that shot was even able to go off before the shot clock went off. And a good rebound underneath by Stockwell, and finds himself still with the opportunity to get some points on this possession.
Stockwell will shoot 2. A 72% free throw shooter on the year. He misses the first one.
Important that was only the first personal foul for Austin Ford, who's really had a good game for St. Vincent with 7 points.
Stockwell makes the second.
Bearcats certainly need his services down the stretch of this ball game.
Bell runs the offense for the Bearcats, brings it to the near side. Guarded by King, gets it to Jones. Jones picks up the dribble, kick it out to J.C. Howard. Howard, jump shot, no good. Gets his own rebound though, out to Jones. Jones drives in the paint, picks it up. Now fadeaway jumper, in and out. Pauly grabs the rebound for the Saints. Thomas More comes the other way. Thomas More participating in 2 championship games. Callahan makes a 3 from the left wing.
And there's their game. Thomas More shooting from the outside again. This time Ron Callahan makes his second 3-point field goal of the night.
Saints back within 3. The women taking on W&J tonight in Crestview Hills, Kentucky. The Thomas More women chasing their 10th consecutive women's basketball championship. Shot no good there by Jones. The defending national champions, the women's team. King on the left wing. Inside, Junior Stockwell. Stockwell reverse shot. No good. Coming the other way.
And the final from that women's championship game between Thomas More and W&J. The Saints get yet another one underneath their belt in a 93-74 victory over the Presidents.
That's not that big of a win for Thomas More.
It's not. One of the closer games on the year for Thomas More. So great effort by W&J.
Foul called on the floor. This one against Damian King. Klimchak into the game. Off the inbound, gives it to Swartout. Back to Klimchak on the far side. Klimchak drives in, baseline. Kick it out, J.C. Howard for 3. No good. Rebounded by Swartout, but a foul call.
And that's Stockwell and Swartout Going at it underneath. Stockwell just grabbing the arm of Swartout. He's only able to go up with one hand, and that'll draw the whistle.
J.C. Howard inbounds, baseline right. He's the trigger guy. Inbound to Klimchuk. Swartout gives it to Jones. Klimchuk on the far side, cross-court pass. Now Jones still with it, uses a screen, gets in the paint. Has to do something with it, gets it around Stockwell, and good. My goodness, how do you make a shot like that? Timeout called on the floor. 15-19 to go. St. Vincent, 37. Thomas More, 32. Back in just a few seconds on the PAC Sports Network.
We're here at Sport Clips, the new just for guys haircutting place, to see what the buzz is about. How was it?
Nice cut, nice price, professional stylist. Doesn't get any better than this.
There's sports on TV at every chair.
I got an awesome haircut, steam towel treatment, neck and shoulder massage. I went all the way!
What are you waiting for? Sport Clips is now in your neighborhood. At Sport Clips, guys win.
With 2 locations in Washington County, at the McMurray Shops in Peters Township and at Trinity Point in Washington.
Glad to have you along here on the PAC Sports Network, bringing you the men's basketball championship game from Latrobe here at St. Vincent. The Bearcats lead Thomas More by 5. Just over 15 minutes to go in the game. Nate Rigotti joined by my partner, Matt Cole. Matt, you and I were talking the other night on the way home from the semifinal game about how complete this St. Vincent team is, and so far in scoring, when Jalen Bell's not there, Pat Jones has been able to pick it up.
Absolutely, one senior picking it up for another, and you mentioned Jalen Bell being a candidate for Player of the Year in the PAC. He's just got 4 points. He had 4 points in this game, 4 points in that first half, and is out of this ball game right now, but St. Vincent hasn't missed a beat.
Swartout, 8-foot jumper, good. Four-point game.
It's just really been a strong effort by Pat Jones and Bobby Swartout to this point. Jones with 15, Swartout with 7, but he's done it all. Also has played very tight defense underneath, matched up on Stockwell.
Stockwell fouled there by Klimchuk. Mismatch in size. Klimchuk tried to sneak in there and steal it away.
That'll be Klimchuk's second.
Klimchuk at 5'9", Junior Stockwell at 6'4". Now Stockwell will get to shoot 2. He's 1 for 2 in the game from the courtesy stripe. First shot is good. Bounced all around the rim there. Just over 14 minutes to go in this championship game.
Here is Jalen Bell checking back in for J.C. Howard.
Second shot good. Stockwell now with 7 points. Bell runs the offense for St. Vincent. Pat Jones in the paint. Tough shot, gets it to go. 17 points for the senior.
And what a performance he's putting together right now. Just so smooth under the pressure of this championship game. It doesn't faze him one bit.
Stockwell right to the basket and 1. Fouled by Sinwell.
And somebody left him wide open underneath. Sinwell tried to compensate for it, came over too late. And now an and 1 opportunity coming up for Stockwell.
Stockwell can get into double digits. He would be the second Saint in double digits if he can make it. Timeout on the floor. Under 14 minutes to go. St. Vincent up 2. Back in a moment on the PAC Sports Network.
When you are in need of fast, affordable, and professional voiceovers, contact TimeAd Productions. TimeAd Productions offers voice services for business presentations, documentary narrations, radio, television, imaging, and commercials, movie trailers, corporate phone systems, websites, audiobooks, and more. Visit or contact us online at www.timeadproductions.com.
battle back, now within one of St. Vincent. Junior Stockwell completes the old-fashioned three-point play. Good press here from the Saints. Ball knocked away. Jones able to get it, gets it underneath the sword out on the left block. He's going to use his size. Turnaround jumper, in and out. Rebounded, though, by Ben Klimchuk. St. Vincent gets another chance here. Austin Ford out to Sword out, thinks about it, gives it to Bell. Bell drives in, uses the step. He's fouled. He'll shoot two.
And he's just so tough to stop once he gets going toward the basket. And Sawyer Pauly found that out in that last possession. Now talking it over with the officials. Not much more you can do. He picks up his second personal.
Over 13 minutes to go. Bell's first shot is no good. Bell in the year shot just 68% from the free throw line.
And really the woes continue for St. Vincent in this championship game from the line. Now just 1 for 4, now make it 2 for 5.
Bell with just 5 points. Conference's fourth leading scorer. Averaging 17 points a game. 42-40. Horn to Young. Young takes it inside the perimeter, has to pick up the dribble, fadeaway jumper, good. Rattled around the rim and through.
And Austin Young quietly is having a very solid game himself. That's now 7 on the night. He had 5 in that first half off the bench, the sophomore forward.
All square at 42. Klimchuk gives it to Jones. Jones hassled a bit, picks it up, gives it to Klimchuk. Long range three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by King. Winner of this game gets the conference's automatic bid into the Division III National Tournament. Thomas More chasing its first conference title since 2009. St. Vincent trying to make it 4 championships in a row. Ball knocked out of bounds off of Swartout. I say one off of Stockwell. No, off of Swartout, okay.
Dieter and Howard checking back in for Ford and Jones for St. Vincent.
Under 12 minutes to play. Ball poked away there by Klimchuk, goes out of bounds. They'll say it's St. Vincent's ball. A little discussion there between the officials.
And what a heads-up play by Klimchuk. Coming back really around the back of Austin Young and poking that ball free.
Still square at 42. Bell beyond the perimeter. Tell you what, Thomas More has done a good job of taking the lane away from St. Vincent.
Both teams have, really.
Long 2-point shot wide left. King hauls it in. Yeah, the inside game has not been able to have any presence. It's been all outside shooting. That 3 no good by King. Swartout skies for the rebound.
Both of these teams just haven't really pushed the pace too much. Have been
offensive foul away from the ball. I mean, that's been called all night long.
It has. This one going against Dietert. That's just his first, but that's been a problem all night for both of these teams.
Thomas More gets the ball back. Opportunity to take the lead once again. Saints haven't led since 22-21. That was with under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Inside to King. Thomas More regains the lead.
And a great look to a cutting Damian King, who's got 5 now, the freshman, and all of a sudden Thomas More with the lead once again.
5 lead changes in the game now. Howard beyond the perimeter. Gives it to Dieter. Now passes it to Bell. Bell eyes it up, sees a lane, takes it right to the basket. That's what he does so good. He surveys that defense and realizes that paint is wide open for me. And he goes right in and scores the points. Tied at 44 now.
And not too many defenders can match up on him one-on-one either and keep up with his speed.
Three-point shot. Austin Young off the inside of the rim, bounces all the way to the near side and out of bounds. Approaching the midway point of this second half. Simon Clifford checks back into the game. Clifford's been on the bench for a little bit with 3 fouls. Now St. Vincent can take the lead back.
And the way this game has been going, it almost seems like the team who can have the best run the latest will win this ball game, as it's just been back and forth.
Bell fouled and one. Talk about taking over a ball game. The last 2 possessions have been phenomenal for Jalen Bell and St. Vincent.
And he's no stranger to doing this, as in the quarterfinal matchup against Chatham, and also again Thursday night against Westminster, he really came alive in the second half and willed St. Vincent to victory. And he's trying to do that again tonight.
Had just 4 points in the first half. Now he's in double digits. 47-44. Fuquay into the game now. Griffin leaves it for Hall. Back to Griffin. Good press here by St. Vincent. Thomas More able to break it. Hall gives it to Young. Now on the far side, Pauly floats it into Clifford. Great play right around Austin Ford, and Ford trying to say to Fuquay, you got to pick me up there.
And there's that over-the-top entry pass again from Thomas More. Not afraid to go to that. You see it a lot on the women's side, but not so much on the men's.
Now Fuquay with it. Gives it to J.C. Howard. Pat Jones right in front of his coach, D.P. Harris. I have to say, Coach has been pretty quiet tonight as J.C. Howard makes the 3.
J.C. Howard has been quiet himself. And now with that made 3-pointers, got 5 on the night.
Again, that floating pass inside over Austin Ford, and he is not happy that Simon Clifford has made it pretty easy. 2 possessions in a row.
Again, worth reminding you, Simon Clifford in there with 3 fouls in this game. That's something to keep track of here in these last 8.5 minutes.
Bell with it, takes it in. Collision in the paint. A blocking foul will be called against Thomas More. Charge that one to Jacob Hall.
That's his 4th. And he'll head right out of the ball game for Damian King.
Hall, a sophomore, has gotten some pretty good playing time here in this championship game. Off the inbound into Jones. No good. Good defensive stand there by Griffin. Now up the floor to Pauly, and a foul called against Swartout.
And that's exactly what he did not want to do. He wanted to come over and challenge him, but didn't want to draw that foul. That's his 3rd.
Austin Young will inbound. 2-point ball game. Just over 8 minutes to play. Left side to Young. Gives it to Damian King. Thomas More just passing beyond the perimeter now. Pauly in the paint. Jump shot over Swartout. No good. Pauly fighting for the rebound. He's called for a foul. The whistles have been active tonight, to say the least.
Yes, they have, Nate. And that'll be the 3rd personal foul against Pauly. And all of a sudden, we have shots from the free throw line, as that's the 7th team foul for Thomas More, and Swartout will be on the line for a 1-and-1.
Wow, 8 minutes for St. Vincent to shoot bonus shots.
And on the other side, St. Vincent at 5 themselves, so they're not too far off.
First shot good for Swartout. Swartout's really coming to his own on this St. Vincent team. The Bearcats lost their big guy to graduation last year, Sean Kett. Kett, an assistant coach, sits on the bench now, but that was a big presence for D.P. Harris to lose on this team. But Bobby Swartout has really stepped up, especially in the latter half of this season.
And especially in that championship game against Waynesburg last season for St. Vincent, Sean Kett had a big game.
Clifford on the reverse layup. He's into double digits now with 10. Still just a 2-point advantage. Bell out to Howard for three, far corner, good. Second three of the half for J.C. Howard. He has 8. St. Vincent up 5.
Came in shooting 34% on the season from beyond the arc, J.C. Howard.
And now a timeout taken. Just over 7 minutes to play. St. Vincent 55, Thomas More 50. Back in just a moment on the PAC Sports Network.
I'm Erica Gunther, and I'm a nursing student here at Thomas More College. Everybody knows each other. You can't go 10 feet down the hallway without saying hi to probably 3 people that you know from either a classroom or a sport or from meeting from one of the clubs or organizations here on campus, because we have so many of them. They want to show you what college is going to be like. You're a student and you're going to behave like a professional in your environment, because that's what they're training you to be. Thomas More College is preparing me for success as a nurse.
I'm proud to be a president because I've been taught to be a leader, not just through what I say, but through what I do. Hi, I'm Zach, and I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Becca, and I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm a sophomore. I really like W&J and decided to come here because they offered me a great balance between academics and athletics, and both are very important to me, and that's something that's tough to find.
I know W&J is going to give me a great foundation.
W&J has given me a start, and with that start, I can go anywhere.
That St. Vincent press is so good. Thomas More called for the 10-second violation. The turnover gives St. Vincent the ball back with the Bearcats up 5.
And a great play defensively by St. Vincent in drawing this turnover and also making Thomas More call that full timeout to regather themselves. And we'll see if they can turn it into points on this possession.
Bell gives it to Jones. Jones drives in, underhand pass to Ford, back to Bell. Open for 3, count it. Jalen Bell on fire in this second half. 13 points now for the senior.
And 9 points in this second half. And great players rise up in great situations. That's exactly what Jalen Bell is doing right now.
Biggest lead of the half for St. Vincent. Horn with it. To Griffin in the corner. Steps around the defender. Gives it to King for 3. Answer.
And there again, the ball movement creating an open shot on the outside for Thomas More. That's their game offensively. We've seen that work a few times here tonight. And allows King to make his second 3-point field goal.
Freshman now has 8 points. These two teams meeting in the championship game for the 3rd time in 4 years. J.C. Howard raining threes now. 11 points for J.C. Howard. 3 triples in the game. 61-53. Now King. This one off the mark. Rebounded by Swartout.
Just 3 balls everywhere, Nate. 35 3 balls have been attempted by these two teams here tonight.
Jones far side. Swartout gives it to Bell. Bell in the paint, has the ball poked away. Swartout for 3, in and out. Rebounded there by Clifford. Good job by Austin Ford not to get a foul over the back. Now Horn drives in on Swartout. It pops out of the basket. It was almost down. Came right out. Now Bell comes the other way to J.C. Howard on the right wing, and a timeout taken. Over 5 minutes to go. St. Vincent up 8, 61-53. We're back in just a moment on the PAC Sports Network.
It begins here on a beautiful campus in southwestern Pennsylvania. At Waynesburg University, students become leaders in education, in business, in government, and science. They learn to tackle real-world issues with innovation and purpose, and are prepared for these roles within a community that fosters spiritual growth. Waynesburg University, a tradition of faith since 1849.
My name is Rick Dorman, and I work in higher education. Parents ask me which colleges they should consider for their children. I know they're looking for an advantage. Like merit scholarships, which could total $80,000, opportunity for student involvement, or even dedicated personal faculty. And as president of Westminster College, I can assure them that their child will gain that here. So if you want an advantage, consider Westminster.
This is just the 6th year that St. Vincent has been championship eligible since joining the President's Athletic Conference and leaving NAIA basketball. And here the Bearcats are chasing their 4th consecutive championship title. Bell drives in the paint, kicks it over to Jones. Jones able to save it. Good move there.
That was incredible.
Into Swartout. Swartout drives in, puts up a floater, good, and it leads to double digits, the largest of the game.
And how about these seniors, Nate, for St. Vincent? Pat Jones with 17, Jalen Bell with 13, now Swartout with 10.
They've been pretty consistent over more than just the past year. 4 players in double digits. Horn, jumper, no good. Rebound on the floor. Howard gets it. Everybody scrambling. Swartout gets to it. Now finally a jump ball called. Nobody could ever hang on to it. Arrow favors Thomas More. T.P. Harris will walk out of towel. T.P. Harris.
There he is on the floor, as always.
Thursday night actually had 2 warnings against him in the semifinal game, and that's just typical coach.
He's got to get at least 1 appearance out there a game.
Well, when you win like he does, he can do whatever he wants.
It's true.
Unfortunately, in the national tournament, St. Vincent has yet to pick up a win. Eliminated in the first game each of the last 3 years. Pauly inside Austin Young. Gets it back to Pauly for 3, right wing. This one short. Rebound comes back to him. In the corner now, Callahan for 3. Good. And a timeout taken by Drew Cooper. Just over 4 minutes to go in this game. St. Vincent still up 63-56. Matt, Thomas More is really going to have to pick it up to be able to fight back in this one now.
Yeah, it was a 10-point lead for St. Vincent before that, made 3 by Ryan Callahan, who's been a guy who's really been consistent for Thomas More all season long and has now made 4 threes in this ball game. And I think Thomas More's just got to stick to their guns. They live and die by the 3 and their outside shooting. They've gone to it tonight to get themselves back into this ball game at different points, and probably going to have to do that again here in these last 4 minutes.
How about the effort by Jalen Bell to storm back, as well as J.C. Howard? Both of those players quiet in the first half, and now both in double digits.
And Callahan now with 16 for Thomas More, and Clifford and Stockwell also in double digits with 10 each.
Bell up the near sideline. Under 4 to go. 63-56.
Don't expect St. Vincent to hurry into any shots on this possession.
No, if I'm St. Vincent, you use every second of the shot clock. Howard in the paint, takes a bump, foul call, shot doesn't go, he'll shoot 2.
And this crowd would have erupted if that shot would have went in.
This has been a very lively championship crowd. I can remember last year when we were here covering the championship game, St. Vincent was on spring break. They are again, but plenty of students stuck around. Last year was a sea of orange with Waynesburg playing here. Thomas More being from Kentucky, the fans just can't travel as easily. But we hope they're watching back in the northern Kentucky area.
J.C. Howard at 71% from the free throw line this season.
Second one, no good. 64-56, 9-point lead. Saints. Callahan top of the key. Floating pass inside. Clifford can't finish this one, though. Pauly gets the offensive rebound. Callahan for three. Shot no good. And the rebound goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Saints.
And a great job by Sawyer Pauly on that possession. Just ripped that ball away from Bobby Swart out underneath. And Simon Clifford is one of the best in the PAC, I think, of just spotting up his man underneath and posting up and allowing himself to be available for that over-the-top pass.
Just over 3 minutes to go. King, right side to Austin Young. Young takes a couple steps in. Now gives it back to King. King around the perimeter, Callahan. King bounce pass inside to Clifford. Drives baseline, little hesitation, gets a shot off, he's fouled. Simon Clifford will shoot two. You can just see the intensity on Simon Clifford's face there as he walked away.
Yeah, he knows it's go time. Here with under 3 minutes left, and your team down by 8. You got to make things happen.
Austin Ford called for the foul. Sinwell checks into the game. Clifford now with 11 points. Simon Clifford, this team's leading scorer, averaging 14 a game. His teammate Danny Williams out for the postseason. Second shot good. Williams, the second leading scorer, also averaging 14. Williams has not played any of this tournament. 64-58.
And head coach D.P. Harris going with an all-senior lineup right now for these last 3 minutes to try to secure this championship.
Good move there by Swartout, just couldn't get the shot to go. That's because Junior Stockwell was a brick wall in his face. 64-58, 2.5 to play. Inside pass to Callahan, now to Stockwell. Stockwell with the left hand reverse, falls in. That ball paused on the rim, but just tipped over into the net. Four-point game. Bell drives in, he's fouled.
And he took a shot to the face, I believe, at the end of that play.
Still down on the floor.
Bell's just got such an amazing ability to change his body direction in air and get a better look at the basket as he still is laying on the floor. Looks like he might have gotten poked in the eye. Seems to be okay.
Officials waved off the trainer. So Bell will go to the bench. No timeout here called. But players both talking to their coaches in a huddle. It's not a timeout as the officials are trying to explain that. Drew Cooper wants his subs into the game. Just over 2 minutes on the clock. St. Vincent leading by 4 points. Jalen Bell will be at the line to shoot two.
Bell with 9 points in this second half. 68% on the year from the free throw line.
Just 2 for 5 in this game. I get 2 for 6. He has struggled. Subs check in. Clifford back in, as is Michael Griffin and Austin Young. Bell's second shot good. Timeout on the floor. Just over 2 minutes to play. St. Vincent leads by 5 in this championship game. We're back in just a few moments on the PAC Sports Network.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
We're here at Sport Clips, the new just for guys haircutting place, to see what the buzz is about. How was it?
Nice cut, nice price, professional stylist. Doesn't get any better than this.
There's sports on TV at every chair.
I got an awesome haircut, steam towel treatment, neck and shoulder massage. I went all the way!
What are you waiting for? Sport Clips is now in your neighborhood. At Sport Clips, guys win.
With 2 locations in Washington County, at the McMurray Shops in Peters Township and at Trinity Point in Washington.
It is go time for Thomas More, leading just by 5 points, or trailing by 5 points rather, with over 2 minutes to go in this game.
Worth noting also foul-wise, Nate, both teams have 1 foul to give, but for Thomas More, only 1 more sends St. Vincent to the line for 2, and a 1-and-1 opportunity for the next St. Vincent foul.
St. Vincent has been in the bonus for the last 6 minutes. King, bounce pass inside to Callahan, who cuts to the basket. Fancy play there, and Drew Cooper calls a quick timeout. Still a 3-point game, and not too much time came off the clock there. Just now at 1:52. Thomas Moore's really got to pick it up here and lock down on defense.
And it looked like he just called that a timeout to set up that play. Ended up scoring there. It's going to take another timeout to talk things over for the last minute and 52 seconds left in this ball game.
Thomas More with 1 timeout left. St. Vincent has 2. And that will be important in the long run here, as both of these teams will want to, I'm sure, have a couple of chances to talk to one another. Drew Cooper, in just his 3rd season at Thomas More, replaced Jeff Rogers, 2-time conference coach of the year.
I don't expect St. Vincent to move very quickly on this possession. They still have time on their side. It's just under 2 minutes left, and a 1-possession lead here at 65-62. They're not going to rush into anything.
If it's one thing we learned Thursday in that game against Westminster, Matt, it's that St. Vincent can close out a close ball game.
Absolutely. That ball game was tied right around this point at 63, and they won the last 2 minutes, ended up winning 70-65 to advance to the championship here today.
Bearcats up 3. Jones to Bell. Back to Jones. 5 on the shot clock. Good ball movement there. Ball is loose. It goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Bearcats. Just 1 second left on the shot clock. Wow, what a sequence.
Here's Austin Dietert checking in for Swartout. And Ben Klimchuk setting up in the corner.
Floating pass into Dietert. The tip in doesn't go. Wow, that was set up beautifully. Just tipped it a little bit too hard. Now Thomas More can tie. The Saints do not have to shoot a 3 here, though, Matt. They can try to go for 2 and another defensive stop.
Yes, they can, but they also feel very confident in shooting outside. So probably still going to be looking for an open shot.
King guarded by Bell. Dietert pokes it away. Ball goes out of bounds. Clock now under a minute. 8 seconds on the shot clock.
And here's Clifford, Austin Young, and Michael Griffin checking in for Thomas More. Stockwell, Sawyer Pauley, and Brandon Horn back out.
King inbounds. Gets it to Callahan. Callahan is fouled. They'll say J.C. Howard got a piece of it. That will put Thomas More in the bonus now. So now Callahan should go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1 now.
And that's That's the third foul on Howard. That's exactly what he did not want to do, as Clifford checks back out of the game for Thomas More for Junior Stockwell. Interesting move there.
1-1. First shot no good, rebounded by Jones. How huge is that? You get 2 free throws if you make it. Couldn't do it. Still down 3. No foul here. Callahan reaching for it. Jones picks it up. Now J.C. Howard with it. Dribbles into the corner, gives it to Dietert. 5 on the shot clock. Bell puts up a 3. Airballs it. It goes out of bounds. 24 seconds on the clock. Thomas More can tie.
And what a great defensive possession there from Thomas More, just not letting anything happen for St. Vincent. Head coach D.P. Harris is upset with his guys that they came up empty on that possession.
Back-to-back good defensive stands for Thomas More. He had the one where Jones had it stolen away. 1 second on the shot clock and 1 out of bounds. They didn't make the shot there. And that time, clearly St. Vincent trying to use the shot clock up, but just couldn't get a good shot off. Jalen Bell had to force that 3, and it was nowhere near the basket. So Thomas More, who has lost to St. Vincent in the playoffs the past 4 seasons, will have another opportunity here to tie this game up. Remember, Thomas More lost in the 2013 and 2014 championship game. Thomas More lost 4 consecutive championship games.
And this could be it for Thomas More. They could hold this ball. Shot clock is off. And they could get the last shot off.
I'm sorry, the Saints lost 3 consecutive. 1 to Bethany and 2 to St. Vincent.
And D.P. Harris really trying to rally up his guys, telling them, let's go. This is it. This is the stop of the game. This is the stop for the 4th consecutive PAC championship.
24 seconds on the clock. Inbound goes to King. St. Vincent in a full court press. King to Callahan. Saints taking a lot of time to get it across half court. King does now, directing traffic. 10 seconds on the clock. King still directing traffic, has to get a shot off here. Dribbles right side, gives it to Austin Young. 3 seconds, loses the ball. Shot up, and the horn sounds. And for the 4th consecutive season, the St. Vincent Bearcats are your conference champions.
There was just nothing doing on that possession, Nate. There really wasn't anything there, and I think they may have lost track of how much time was left. Damian King possessing that ball at the top of the key, just waiting for something to happen, and all of a sudden there was 5 seconds left. It got it to Austin Young, lost a handle on the ball, and was only able to put up that last-second desperation shot, but really not a good last possession for Thomas More.
Wow, what a great job by St. Vincent to hang on to that one. Final score, 65-62. The Bearcats can cut down the net once again. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll name our Foster Law Office's Player of the Game on the PAC Sports Network.
When you are in need of fast, affordable, and professional voiceovers, contact TimeAd Productions. TimeAd Productions offers voice services for business presentations, documentary narrations, radio, television, imaging, and commercials, movie trailers, corporate phone systems, websites, audiobooks, and more. Visit or contact us online at www.timeadproductions.com.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
Boy, Matt, this season has been a grind for St. Vincent. Talked to D.P. Harris in the hallway after that close Grove City loss, and he said this is going to be tough to get back there once again, but the St. Vincent Bearcats have done it.
And it was a grind. You are right, Nate, and no easy games, really, going through the PAC tournament, even into the regular season. St. Vincent didn't really blow too many opponents out, but they just outworked you and had a deep roster, full of seniors that came up big throughout the season and came up big again tonight. You mentioned Pat Jones had 17, J.C. Howard had 12, Jalen Bell had 14, Bobby Swartout had 10. I mean, all these guys in double figures to bring a fourth consecutive championship to St. Vincent. Really a team effort tonight, and it has been that way all season long.
You see them all gathering around now at midcourt with that banner that says champions and the big number 4 right there. Some of these guys not even part of those previous champion teams. And you think back to the people like Isaac Turner and Dylan Stike that got this run going. And boy, this team has just continued it. Pat Jones, Jalen Bell, Bobby Swartout, and J.C. Howard. All 4 seniors. Bell and Swartout transfers in. Pat Jones and J.C. Howard, they have won all 4 championships with St. Vincent. And remember, the Bearcats have only been championship eligible for 6 years. So 4 championships in 6 years is pretty phenomenal.
And it's another PAC championship appearance, and just coming up short once again for Thomas More. But as we mentioned in the beginning of the broadcast, only high hopes for this team moving forward. A lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores contributing throughout this season. You have to think that they're only going to get stronger from here, but for now, it's St. Vincent's day.
Senior Kyle Rivera, the first one to cut down the net. Time to name our Foster Law Office's player of the game, and I have to give it to Jalen Bell. He finished with 14 points, just behind his teammate Pat Jones with 17, but Bell so quiet in that first half, just 4 points, and he just exploded at the right time for the Bearcats.
Yeah, we mentioned at about the 15-minute mark left to go in this game that Jalen Bell hadn't really made a huge impact for St. Vincent, but they still had the lead and were hanging around. Well, he put up 10 points from that moment in that second half, and certainly rose to the occasion and got to this championship victory, and he has done it all season long for St. Vincent. That's more of a seasoned player of the game than anything for Jalen Bell.
A fantastic year for St. Vincent. The Bearcats finished with a 22-6 record. Thomas More 17-11. The Bearcats now get the automatic bid for winning the conference championship into the National Division III tournament. The Bearcats have not been victorious the last 3 years, but now get another opportunity to beat another team. Will do it for us. Stay tuned to PACstream.net. We'll have an interview with Jalen Bell, our Foster Law Office's player of the game, and head coach D.P. Harris. Coach Harris, in his 13th season, has taken teams to the NAIA Sweet 16 and now gets a chance again at the division tournament. For our broadcast crew, John Souter, our producer, J.D. Leidick, my partner, Matt Cole, I'm Nate Rigotti, saying so long. St. Vincent champions once again. Final score, 65-62 over Thomas More.